Okay, so today the U.S. Department of Justice issued a statement disagreeing with Judge Watson's ban yesterday um, of the travel ban and said it will continue to find legal or to legally contest in an attempt to reactivate the ban. And Trump also met with Prime Minister of, I'm just going to say Danish Prime Minister Lars Løkke Rasmussen. And if I mispronounced that person's name, oh well. Because I'm not in the best of moods, I guess. I'm just not feeling that well. Um, 70 days in, and we have a travel ban that is misguided in its, I think, noble efforts of trying to keep people safe. We have a pipeline that is only going to make 35 jobs, yet cost God knows how many millions and do nothing for anyone's economy besides Trans Canada. We have a president who goes on and on about an election that is now months behind. We had a repeal and replacement bill known as the American Health Care Act that fell through the cracks with its own party that it was under in leadership. I really have tried to play this thing of just being neutral. And it still, in my opinion, is too early to say this man is awful, this man is terrible. People have shortcomings, and you don't get everything achieved in, 70 days, as today is this milestone. And we're really only, we're 7/10 into this 100-day coverage. But I just don't see how his supporters, I watch Fox and they talk about, oh, he's doing, not Fox's, their staff, but people they've interviewed from, I think they had Waters who went to Texas and he was uh, at the ranch and people were going about how, oh, Trump's so good and great and wonderful. Yeah. And, I see this and I'm not really convinced. Do I think he's awful? Again, too early to tell. Do I think these policies are bad? Yes. Um, I'm thinking about that State of the Union, that joint address, pseudo State of the Union, where he had the widow come out, and I have to give Jimmy Dore credit for this from TYT. I didn't think of it as using a dead person for gain or having her as a prop up until he broke it down as to how he felt in regards to that opinion, and that is if this man's life meant anything to Trump. I know it meant a lot to his widow. You saw her crying profusely. That convinced me 100% of her feelings. We know how she feels. To almost want to vote for her for president next time. Um, if that man meant anything, then we would be trying to get out of these wars. We would be trying to, we don't want another Owens. We don't want any more of him. In the sense of good men who meet their end and in doing so leave no effect because we're, or at least our powers that be, are driven toward these conflicts that we could do without. The U.S. is not losing, house prices aren't going up because of what's going on in Iraq or Syria. Most of our terrorist attacks, whether they be killings of, people in Chicago or Baltimore or, South Los Angeles, Brooklyn, wherever. Those are homegrown people that end up killing others that are, harmless and trying to live productively. And, I really feel as if you can't look at what has been going on for the last 70 days and not feel a sense of, and I know everyone's wondering, oh, the toilet paper back there, yeah, whatever. Let's be substantive. So somebody was thinking about that. You can't look at what's been going on for these last 2 months, um, and not feel a sense of just. I mean, even if you're for him, you still have to admit some of this stuff really is bad. I haven't seen a single defender of his try to back the healthcare bill going through, and the ones that have said, "Oh, well, it wasn't his fault." Okay, but my point is, he advocated so much for this to be repealed, and he rushed this thing out. And it's possible to get bills done when they're given enough time. How much time do they take? Months? Apparently, even a year. You know, remember, Obama was in there for a whole year before Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act ended up getting passed. So, what I don't understand is how we can have all these past presidencies, and it seems as if he's not taking from any of them, barring when he brought up FDR and the internment camps and what he planned to do with, I think, Muslims back in the campaign trail. But, you know, I'm not trying to really get too um, just off topic here. It doesn't. I'm just reflecting now because we're nearing the end. We have 30 days left until our coverage is over, and I'm not convinced. I walked into this very optimistic. I said, okay, we can have something potentially good here. I always try to give somebody the benefit of the doubt. I don't lean toward either party at this point, and I'm not seeing anything of quality that has been just ushered in by him. They talk about these jobs that are being made, um, you know, but sell me another story. Tell me about the inner cities have improved. Tell me about how my health care is now better and not that cursed, wretched Obamacare. Just give me something to say. This is good. This is all him. This is Trump. I'm waiting. And then his daughter gets this, appointment, and we have this 1967 nepotism law, and that's allowed to stick. But that's the least of problems. Like it's so funny. I'm also I've noticed I don't talk much about his family. There's nothing to talk about. That if that was the only problem, it wouldn't be a problem. I have seen people go after him in ways that I think are really just messed up. I've seen forums where users have lambasted his wife for staying in New York. Who cares? Her being there wouldn't change that healthcare bill was not adequate by the eyes of everybody that wasn't, I guess, to the far right or whatever. I don't know. You have enough Republicans that didn't like it. So, I'm just saying, and this is just my opinion. Thank you for watching and have a good day. And make sure to vote for someone else in 2020.